In the unforgiving theater of the African wilderness, silence is rarely a sign of peace. It is usually a deep breath before the plunge, the calm before a storm of violence that defines the boundary between life and death. Imagine standing in the shadows of the canopy, heart pounding against your ribs, as two of the world's most intelligent and powerful factions collide. On one side, the raw, crushing power of the lion pride. On the other, the calculated, frantic unity of the primate troop. This is not just a fight for food. It is a clash of cultures, a war for territory, and a testament to the sheer will to survive. Today, we are going to take you on a journey that begins in the treetops and ends in the blood-soaked dust of the savannah. We will witness a mistake born of innocence, a rescue mission fueled by adrenaline, and the cold, hard logic of survival that dictates the fate of every living creature here.
Look at these specimens.
Deep within the emerald embrace of the rainforest, the day begins not with a roar, but with a strategy. Here, we meet the chimpanzee. To the untrained eye, they may seem like chaotic jesters of the jungle, but look closer. You are witnessing a society as complex, political, and structured as any human civilization. Survival here is not a solo endeavor, it is a collective effort. The chimpanzee troop is bound by an intricate web of alliances. We see them grooming, fingers picking through coarse black fur. This isn't just hygiene, it's currency. It is how bonds are forged and apologies are made. But do not mistake this tenderness for weakness. These animals are formidable. Their muscle density is far superior to a human's, and their intelligence is their sharpest weapon. Watch as they use tools, stripping leaves from a twig to fish for termites or using rocks to crack open nuts. This cognitive brilliance allows them to dominate the forest floor. But the forest is not a fortress. It is a hunting ground for the leopard, the silent assassin. Thus, the chimps live in a state of relaxed alertness. Every rustle of a leaf is analyzed. Every shadow is suspect. They are masters of their domain, but they know that to stay on top, they must remain vigilant. As the dry season shrinks the forest's bounty, the troop is forced to make a perilous decision. They must cross the open savanna to reach the next patch of fruit-bearing trees. This is the kill zone. Here, there are no trees to climb, no shadows to hide in. The mood of the troop shifts instantly. The playful hooting stops. The mothers pull their infants close to their chests. The alpha male takes the lead, walking on his knuckles, scanning the horizon. And then they see them. A few hundred yards away, camouflaged against the golden grass, is a pride of lions, the apex predators of the plains. The chimps freeze. This is a moment of high-stakes tension. If the chimps run, they trigger the lion's chase instinct. If they freeze, they might go unnoticed. Incredibly, the lion's bellies perhaps full from a night hunt, merely glance at the primates and continue their lazy patrol. The chimps display remarkable restraint. They do not panic. They hold their formation, moving with a quiet, fluid grace that betrays their anxiety. This is the discipline of survival, knowing when to fight and, more importantly, knowing when to become invisible. With the immediate danger past, the troop settles into a temporary sanctuary, a cluster of acacia trees. The adults, exhausted and hungry, disperse to forage. Left behind in the safety of the lower branches are 3 young chimps. They are adolescents, bold, curious, and lacking the deep-seated fear that keeps their parents alive. Below them in the tall grass, movement stirs. It is not a predator on the hunt, but a tumble of golden fur. Lion cubs, unsupervised, playful, and clumsy. To a young chimp, these cubs don't look like death machines. They look like playmates. Curiosity, the very trait that drives chimp intelligence, now drives one young male toward disaster. He descends. He approaches the cubs. For a mesmerizing, surreal moment, species barriers dissolve. The young chimp reaches out and the cub rolls over, batting at him with soft paws. It is a scene right out of a storybook, innocent, beautiful, and completely forbidden by the laws of nature. But in the wild, innocence is often a precursor to tragedy. The young chimp, emboldened, tries to pick up the cub, treating it like a sibling. The cub lets out a confused yelp, and just like that, the spell is broken. That single yelp travels through the air like a siren. A few hundred feet away, a lioness sleeping with one ear open snaps awake. Her maternal instinct is a biological imperative that overrides all else. She doesn't need to see the threat, she hears it. She explodes from the grass. The ground shakes as she closes the distance, her eyes locking onto the dark shape near her offspring. The young chimp, suddenly realizing the gravity of his mistake, scrambles backward. He grabs the cub, perhaps in panic, perhaps in a confused attempt to take his new toy with him, and bolts up the tree. The lioness arrives a split second too late to catch him on the ground. She leaps, her massive claws raking the bark, missing the chimp's foot by inches. Now, the situation has escalated from a misunderstanding to a hostage crisis. The chimp is high up, clutching the cub. The lioness is below, packing, growling, her panic transforming into a cold, lethal rage. Her calls change from summons to war cries. The commotion draws the chimp troop back. The mother of the young offender arrives first. She takes in the scene instantly, her son trapped, the lioness ready to kill. A human mother might freeze in terror. A chimp mother attacks. She unleashes a barrage of alarm calls. Rah, rah, screams designed to shatter the nerve of the enemy and summon reinforcements. She doesn't retreat. She charges down the lower branches, shaking the foliage, breaking sticks, and throwing debris. She is trying to make herself look bigger, louder, and more dangerous than she is. It is a bluff, but a terrifying one. The lioness, startled by this sudden aggression from above, flinches. For a moment, the primate holds the line against the feline. It is the first clash, agility and noise versus raw power. But the lioness knows she has the advantage of gravity. She waits. The standoff cannot last. The lioness's distress calls have been answered. From the brush emerge two male lions, massive, scarred, their manes thick and black, a sign of high testosterone and fighting prowess. When a male lion arrives, the dynamic changes entirely. They do not posture, they dominate. They roar, a sound that hits 114 decibels, loud enough to cause physical pain to the chimp's sensitive ears. The forest floor shakes with their power. The mother chimp stands firm, baring her teeth, but she knows this is a losing battle. She calls for the alpha male. The troop rallies, screaming, defecating, and hurling heavy branches from the canopy. It is chaotic warfare. But the chimps are smart. They calculate the odds. They cannot fight 3 adult lions on the ground. The young chimp, terrified by the roaring monsters below, finally releases the cub. He drops it into the tall grass. It is a strategic surrender. The chimps retreat to the highest branches, shrieking their defiance but effectively ending the engagement. They have chosen survival over pride. The lions converge on the cub. They sniff it aggressively, checking for wounds, checking for life. Finding it shaken but unharmed, the tension drains from the pride instantly. The lioness licks the cub's head, a gesture of reassurance. The male lions, having done their job of intimidation, lose interest in the trees. They have no desire to climb. They are heavy, terrestrial beasts. With their prize secure, the pride turns and melts back into the savannah. High above, the chimps watch them go. The adrenaline crash is palpable. They groom each other frantically, a nervous reaction to soothe the stress. They have survived an encounter with the grim reapers of Africa, but the day is far from over. Exhausted and dehydrated from the adrenaline spike, the troop decides to retreat. The open savanna has proven too unpredictable. They head deeper into the dense rainforest, seeking the sanctuary of the shadows. From the canopy, the alpha spots a stream winding through the undergrowth. Water. It is exactly what they need to reset their systems. They descend from the trees. This is a dangerous time. Chimps are most vulnerable on the ground, and their senses are dulled by the fatigue of the previous encounter. They move toward the water, the cool air of the stream promising relief. They let their guard down just for a moment. Nature, however, is cruel. It does not care that you have just survived a lion. Just as the alpha male reaches the bank, the leaf litter explodes. A reticulated python, over 15 feet long and thick as a telephone pole, strikes. It is an ambush predator, a master of patience that may have been waiting in that spot for weeks. The strike is a blur. The python's recurved teeth sink into the alpha's thigh, anchoring him. Instantly, the snake coils. It wraps around the chimp's torso, the constriction squeezing the air from his lungs before he can even scream. The troop erupts in a different kind of panic. This is not the open war of the lions. This is a silent, suffocating horror. The other chimps scream, rushing forward to bite and hit the snake. They know that if the coils lock, their leader is dead. The alpha fights with primal desperation. He bites the snake's body, his canine teeth tearing at the scales. The troop hurls rocks and beats the snake. Overwhelmed by the collective assault and the ferocity of the prey, the python realizes this meal is too dangerous. It uncoils and slithers rapidly into the water, disappearing into the murky depths. The alpha drags himself up the bank, bruised and breathless, but alive. The lesson is reinforced. Nowhere is safe. While the chimpanzee relies on intelligence and politics, another primate chooses a different path: brute force and militaristic discipline. Let us shift our gaze to the baboon. If chimps are the politicians of the primate world, baboons are the Spartans. They move in massive troops, sometimes numbering in the hundreds. Their social structure is rigid, governed by a hierarchy of aggressive males with canine teeth that rival those of a leopard. Baboons do not hide from lions in the same way chimps do. They confront them. We see a scene where a leopard attempts to snatch a baboon, only to be chased up a tree by a mob of screaming, biting males. This collective defense is their superpower. They are the thugs of the savannah, and they fear very little. But this strength has a dark side, a brutal, calculating side. The narrative takes a grim turn as the baboon troop stumbles upon a lion's den while the mother is away hunting. A chimpanzee might play with a cub out of curiosity. A baboon sees something else, a future enemy. The dominant male baboons approach the cubs. There is no playfulness here. They understand that every lion cub allowed to reach adulthood is a lion that might one day eat a baboon. In a display of cold, evolutionary logic, the baboons attack. They kill the cubs. It is hard to watch. It feels cruel to our human sensibilities. But in the wild, this is not cruelty. It is insurance. It is a preemptive strike to secure the safety of the baboon troop's future generations. It showcases the brutal mathematics of survival, kill or be killed, sometimes years in advance. Cut back to the lioness. She is returning from the hunt, blood on her muzzle. She stops. Her ears twitch. She hears the distress call of the one cub that managed to hide from the baboon purge. The transformation is instantaneous. The fatigue of the hunt vanishes. Her pupils dilate. She drops her kill and sprints. This is the unmatched intensity of the maternal drive. A lioness will face fire, flood, and steel to protect her bloodline. She crashes through the bushes, her roar scattering the remaining baboons who dare not face an enraged adult lioness. She is a force of nature, a hurricane of claws and teeth fueled by grief and protective rage. The violence has passed. The dust has settled. We find the lioness lying in the tall grass, her surviving cub nestled between her massive paws. The contrast is staggering. The same jaws that can crush a wildebeest's spine now gently groom the cub's fur. Her rough tongue cleans its wounds. She purrs, a low, rumbling vibration that soothes the youngster. This scene reminds us that these animals are not monsters. They are emotional beings. The bond between mother and child is the strongest force in the wild, transcending species. It is a moment of pure, unadulterated love amidst a landscape of constant war. As night falls, we return to the baboons. They have moved on from the violence at the den. They are back to their routine, grooming, foraging, bickering over status. They do not mourn the violence they inflicted. They do not dwell on the morality of their actions. They simply survive. Their strong social ties, their ruthlessness, and their ability to work as a unit are the backbone of their existence. The chimps in the forest, the lions on the plain, the baboons on the cliffs, they all sleep with one eye open, ready to do it all again tomorrow. As we watch the sun dip below the African horizon, plunging the wilderness into darkness, we are left with a profound sense of awe and reflection. What we have witnessed today is not just a series of animal encounters. It is a mirror reflecting the essence of life itself. We saw the chimpanzee, whose curiosity nearly cost him everything, reminding us that intelligence must be tempered with wisdom. We saw the lioness, whose ferocious love highlights the lengths a parent will go to protect their child. We saw the baboon, teaching us that sometimes survival requires difficult, even brutal decisions and unwavering unity. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of the wild. If you enjoyed this deep dive into animal psychology and survival, please smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Join our troop and let's explore the wonders of this planet together. Until next time,